January 27th to February 3rd is National School Choice Week. Advocates of greater educational choices for parents are planning events around the U.S. to promote increased awareness. I spoke with Brandon Dutcher, Vice President for Policy at the Oklahoma Council of Public Affairs and a supporter of school choice in Oklahoma. Brandon, what's the theory behind school choice?
Well, school choice basically says, look, parents should have options to choose the safest and best school for their kids, whether it's a traditional public school or a charter school, or maybe it's a private school, maybe it's online learning, maybe it's homeschooling, maybe it's some customized menu of all of the above. But parents have different needs and wants for their kids, so they should have choices.
What would proponents of school choice like to see done in Oklahoma? Well,
we've made progress already in that Oklahoma has scholarships for special needs kids. It has tax credit scholarships. Those are two things that came in 10 and 11. There's always room to expand those. The next frontier in school choice is what's called education savings accounts, which is what Arizona has, and 1 in 5 Arizona children is eligible. That's basically a savings account where if you don't put your child in a traditional public school, the state per pupil funds are deposited into a savings account, and you can use that for your child wherever you like.
There has been some concern, though, about using those public dollars to support school choice because it does come in a variety of forms. How do you respond to that?
Right, and that was the hub of the big Jenks and Tulsa union lawsuit. We've always said, look, public money goes to private schools all the time already. It goes to all sorts of private organizations, whether it's food stamps going to private grocery stores or Medicaid money at private hospitals. Even in education, you have pre-K money going to private daycares all the time. You have college grants and scholarships that you can use at private colleges and universities. So we don't see any reason it should be different for a 17-year-old than it is for an 18-year-old.
What educational problems would school choice solve?
Well, there's no one answer because parents have different desires. I mean, some parents are concerned about safety or bullying, and for them, if they could go to another place they felt better. Some parents are concerned about performance, and they think, well, if I could go to a different school with a different pedagogy, maybe my kids would do better. My kid with a special needs, his need is not being met. So it varies from parent to parent.
How does Oklahoma rank in terms of the states for school choice?
There are 21 states and 32 programs, voucher or tax credit scholarship programs in those 21 states. And Oklahoma's one of them. So we're not a leader in the way that Indiana, for example, is. In Indiana, people don't realize this, half the student population is eligible for a private school voucher. Louisiana, it's 46%. So those kind of are setting the pace. But Oklahoma's not too far behind.
Oklahoma is a leader in homeschooling, and that's an element of school choice.
It really is. The estimates, my best guess is maybe 25,000 students homeschooled. There's no real hard count because they don't report to the State Department, but that is a very strong and burgeoning movement in Oklahoma.
Is greater school choice feasible throughout the state, or is it something that is more appropriate in the larger metropolitan areas?
It used to be larger metropolitan areas, but in the world we're living in now in the 21st century, where it's an iTunes world, not an LP world. So there's this hybridization, this customization coming on, to where if I live in Guyman and maybe there's not a great AP chemistry teacher, wouldn't it be great if I could take it online or I could customize my own educational menu? So I think the possibilities are even greater for rural areas.
How far do you think the state should go in encouraging school choice, or is that better left to the free market?
Well, it is better left to the free market, but I think the state has to let the free market operate. In other words, the state has to say, we're going to fund students and not fund schools. And then students in a free market can choose, I want to go to my traditional public, or no, I want to go to this private, or actually I want to go to my public school in the morning and then take an online course from Stanford in the afternoon, and then one over, and sort of customize it. So I think there's a role for public policy to encourage school choice.
Brandon Dutcher, thanks for your time.
Thank you.